Welcome to MindSwitch Books. Today, we're going to crack open a book that has, and I mean this, literally transformed millions of lives. The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. So, let me ask you, do you ever feel like you're capable of so much more, but there's just something holding you back? Well, if that's you, then you are in exactly the right place. It all kicks off with this simple story in the book. There's this guy, Harry, who earns five times more than anyone else on his team. And when his boss is asked why, the answer is just, well, it's stunningly simple. It wasn't because he was smarter, it wasn't luck, it wasn't a better education. Nope. The reason was Harry just thought 5 times bigger. And that one little idea, that's the key that unlocks this entire philosophy. So naturally, I've got to ask you that exact same question. What if you could achieve 5 times more in your own life, all just by changing the size of your thoughts? It sounds almost too simple, right? Well, stick with me because in this explainer, we are going to dive into the exact blueprint David Schwartz lays out to do just that, to completely rewire your brain for, well, monumental success. All right, here's the game plan for today. First, we'll unpack what it really means to think 5 times bigger. Then we'll talk about curing something called the failure disease. After that, we'll harness the incredible power of belief, learn how action destroys fear, and finally, put it all together into your very own blueprint for success. Let's get into it. Okay, let's jump right into the core idea of this whole book. This is really the foundation, the one simple, powerful concept that everything else we're going to talk about is built on. So here's the big premise in a nutshell. Your success, your happiness, even your income, they're all just a direct reflection of the size of your thoughts. Schwartz basically says the world you see around you, it's just a mirror of what's going on inside your head. So if you're thinking small, petty thoughts, guess what? You're going to see a world full of limitations and problems. But, and this is the magic part, if you improve the quality and the scale of your thinking, your outside world literally has no choice but to follow along. The book is just packed with story after story proving that the size of our bank accounts and, more importantly, our happiness really just depends on the size of our thinking. And look, this isn't some new agey feel-good idea. Schwartz makes it super clear that the greatest minds in history have been saying the exact same thing for centuries. You've got David saying, "As one thinketh in his heart, so is he." Emerson believed, "Great men are those who see that thoughts rule the world." And even Shakespeare chimed in with, "There is nothing either good or bad except that thinking makes it so." They all got it. They all understood this one fundamental truth. Your thoughts literally shape your reality. Okay, so if thinking big is the secret sauce, what's stopping everybody from doing it? Well, Schwartz identifies this one universal problem, this failure disease that he brilliantly names excusitis. So what is excusitis? It's the disease of failure, plain and simple. It's basically an addiction to making excuses for why we're not where we want to be. And here's the really scary part. The more you repeat an excuse, the deeper it gets buried in your subconscious mind. At first, you kind of know it's a bit of a stretch, but you say it again and again, and pretty soon, you're 100% convinced it's the absolute truth. You literally become a prisoner of your own excuse. Now, what's so powerful here is how Schwartz breaks this down into the 4 most common types of this disease. And as I go through these, just see if any of them sound a little familiar, okay? First, you've got health excusitis. Oh, I'd love to start that project, but my health just isn't up to it. Then there's intelligence excusitis. I could never get that job, I'm just not smart enough. Third is age excusitis. I'm too old to start over. Or on the flip side, nobody will take me seriously, I'm too young. And finally, the classic luck excusitis. Oh, it's easy for them, they just got lucky. The book, by the way, has a whole chapter dedicated to just tearing each of these excuses apart, showing you exactly why they're just mental roadblocks we build for ourselves. So if any of that resonated with you, if you've ever heard one of those excuses come out of your own mouth, hey, first of all, you are definitely not alone. We all do it. And second, if this is hitting home, could you do us a quick favor and just tap that like button? It really helps us get this message out there. And hey, if you can think of someone who really needs to hear this, go ahead and share it with them. It might just be the little nudge they need. All right, so we've diagnosed the disease. Now for the good part. The book gives us the cure. And it's not some complicated formula, but it is incredibly profound. The antidote, the one thing that completely wipes out excusitis, is genuine, unwavering belief. This right here, this is the core solution.
See, belief isn't just some fuzzy, nice-to-have feeling. It's a force. It's like the ignition switch for your brain. The moment you truly believe you can do something, your mind just automatically starts searching for how to get it done. But the second you believe it's impossible, your mind just shuts down the search party. It won't even look for the solution. Belief is what triggers the power, the skill, and the energy you need to actually make things happen.
And I absolutely love this analogy from the book. It perfectly illustrates that constant battle going on inside our own heads. Schwartz says to imagine you have two foremen running your mind factory. You got Mr. Triumph. He's the guy who manufactures all the positive thoughts. He specializes in all the reasons you can do it, you are qualified, and you will succeed. Then you've got the other guy, Mr. Defeat. He does the exact opposite. He's a specialist in all the reasons you can't, you're too weak, and you're going to fail. Now here's the kicker. Both of them are intensely obedient. The instant you give even a tiny positive signal, Mr. Triumph gets to work. But the moment you signal something negative, Mr. Defeat jumps right on the job. So the real question is, who are you keeping on the payroll? The book's advice couldn't be simpler. Fire Mr. Defeat immediately and put Mr. Triumph on the job 100% of the time.
But look, this book isn't just about sitting around and thinking positive. That's not the point. It shows us that belief is like a muscle, and the only way to strengthen it is through action. Schwartz is so clear on this point. Action is what cures fear, period. Indecision, hesitation, procrastination, all that stuff just feeds the fear and makes it grow bigger.
So, just to give you a little taste of the practical gold that's packed into this book, here are 5 super simple actions you can start doing right now to build confidence. First, deposit only positive thoughts in your memory bank. That means you consciously choose to remember your wins and learn from but not dwell on your losses. Second, walk 25% faster. It sounds silly, but your body language tells your brain how to feel. Walking with purpose makes you feel more purposeful. Third, speak up at every meeting you attend. Make it a rule. The more you contribute, the more valuable and confident you'll feel. Fourth, look people directly in the eye. It communicates confidence and honesty, both to them and to yourself. And number 5, just smile big. A genuine, big smile literally melts away fear and worry. It's simple, but it works. And when you start putting all these little pieces together, that's how you build your actual blueprint for success. See, it's not about taking one giant scary leap. It's about consistently applying these small principles day after day until they just become your new default setting. So let's just pull it all together. The Magic of Thinking Big is, well, it's so much more than just a positive thinking book. It's a cure for that excuse-itis, the failure disease that holds so many of us back. It's basically a user's manual for harnessing the unbelievable power of your own belief. It's a practical guide full of real actions for building confidence. It's a whole new method for seeing what can be instead of just what is. And maybe most importantly, it's a clear plan to finally get you on the road to real achievement. And I really want to leave you with this final, powerful quote from the book. Because the true joy in life, it isn't just about reaching some final destination. It's about the deep satisfaction you get from knowing you're on the road, that you're moving forward, you're growing, and you're becoming more today than you were yesterday. It's all about being on that journey. Honestly, in this short explainer, we've really only scratched the surface of the wisdom that is packed into this book. I mean, we didn't even get to touch on his strategies for thinking creatively, or how to turn a defeat into a victory, or how to use your goals to supercharge your growth. The complete, detailed blueprint for that monumentally successful life you've been dreaming of, it's all waiting for you right inside the pages of The Magic of Thinking Big. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here at MindSwitch Books today. If you feel like you are ready to stop making excuses and start building a bigger, better life for yourself, do yourself a favor and click the link in the description below to grab your own copy of the book. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next summary that just might change your life. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.